Hi, welcome to Ready Reckoning Racing. It's race preview time, and we're looking ahead to a race tomorrow, Thursday, the 27th of July at Yarmouth. It's the return of the Racing League, which I'm sure gets everybody excited. Bit of a bizarre concept, the Racing League. I suspect we're in our final season of it. Maybe wrong on that front, but I struggle to see how it has much of a future beyond this season. To be honest, it hasn't really taken off. I tend not to really look too much at the Racing League stuff, but yeah, there is a race there tomorrow, this 6:30, that's kind of caught my attention a bit more. And I think you've just got to take these races on their own merit to ignore a lot of the noise around this Racing League stuff and just view it as a race in its own merit. So the race in question. There's a bit of rain around for Yarmouth tomorrow. I think they've got rain most of the day forecast, so we're on good to soft at the minute. I suspect it may even ride a little bit softer. There's probably two or three in here who probably want those conditions, to be fair. Pricing around on this stuff already. The Racing League stuff does seem to get priced early, so head of the market is Shabazz. I can see why. Progressive 3-year-old Frankie Dettori on board, will like the ground, first time buys, so he's got a few ticks in the box, a few things going for it. Distance is a little bit of an unsure one. You buy Free Eagle, I mean they tend to stay all day out with Dalakani mare, so I suspect this horse probably wants 10 furlongs to a mile and a half really, but it's got bits and pieces over a mile. Frankie will probably pop it out and have it fairly prominent, make it a bit of a test, I would suspect, so I can see why he's favourite. I think 4-1's about the right price, but he's not the one that I'm interested in tomorrow. The one I'm interested in is from the Mick Appleby yard, and it's United Front. Now I've always had this horse pigeonholed as a bit of an all-weather horse, but I think it's a case of, the horse is capable on the turf, but he's probably had an artificial handicap mark off on the turf off the back of how strong his all-weather form is. But now he's down at a mark on the turf that he's a lot more competitive on, around the 80s. I've liked his 4 runs this year. He's running really consistently well. 4 excellent consistent performances so far this season. Started off on good to firm, won at Beverley, ran well at Yarmouth before that behind Lady Eros, coming second. I think Lady Eros is not a bad 3-year-old, a bit scope for more improvement. Then the Carlisle run was the interesting one as well. I was at Carlisle that day and it pretty much rained all day. That race in question, there was only 2 horses made up any ground. It was I think you wanted to be on the front end. First and second was Mustawa and Leomarti Dreams, 2 horses who were in really good form and well-renowned front runners. So the only 2 who made up any ground, one was United Front and the other one was Painter's Palette. Painter's Palette has ran at Ascot since, maybe a little bit disappointing on the face of it, but again, I think there was a stand-side bias that day, and he was drawn on the other side of that stand-side bias. So I would kind of treat that run with a pinch of salt, really, and put a line through that Painter's Palette run. I certainly wouldn't be judging, the standard of the form of the Carlisle race based on what Painter's Palette did last time. And then went to the July course at Newmarket and ran another solid race, in a grade 3 or class 3, sorry. Was never really in with a chance of winning that day, but stayed on nicely. Back down to class 4 here. I think it's got a really solid chance in this race tomorrow. I've noticed it's around about the 9-10 to 1 mark, so I'd be happy to play each way around it. I think 10 to 1 is a really good price. I mean, I've got it around about the 7 to 1 mark. As I say, it's just a horse running consistently well. There's 4 or 5 in here who are difficult horses to catch right, quirky characters, Tahitian Prince, Alexander James, Ortard Prince doesn't look particularly well handicapped, Carolus Magno's first time for a new yard, been off the track a while, so I suspect they've probably got targets in mind later into the season with that one. So I think the other one who's interesting is probably the Dean Ivory filly down the bottom, Achillea. So she's been running well, looks like it will really appreciate a step up to a mile here, soft ground, looks reasonably well handicapped, to be fair, and I think that will probably run its race. Has tried a mile before, wouldn't judge it on that day though, quick ground, probably on the wrong part of the track, wrong side of the track, so I don't think that run was maybe as bad as it looks. But again, I'm not sure there's a huge amount of juice in that one's price. I've got it around about the 13 to 2 mark, so which is pretty much where it is in the betting. So for me it'd be United Front though. I think United Front will run a really solid race. I'd recommend it as an each way tip. Certainly, I'd probably take 9 to 1, but if you can get 10 to 1, obviously even better. I struggle to see how it doesn't run its race, and he'd be the one I'd be interested in tomorrow. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that preview, and there'll be more later this week. Good luck if you follow it in with that one, and yeah, any comments, questions, anything like that, by all means let me know. And also, if anyone's got any recommendations for other things they might want me to cover in certain videos, I'm more open to that, discussing more about handicapping methods, or how I find my horses, or tracker horses, or anything like that, any kind of questions. More than happy to kind of get back to you on that. Okay, thanks for your time. Cheers, bye bye.